strip poker. I feel like I need to give a rebuttal. That show, John, he gave he gave me my first ever job as a host. I've done little things here and there. I've been a stand-up comic. I've been living in LA maybe 3 or 4 years, and was out there hustling, trying to get gigs. I was moving furniture on the weekends, and my manager set up these. I had 3 auditions in a day. One was a sitcom, one was an independent film, and one was some stupid game show I didn't even care about. So I practiced, and I was in acting class, and I got all the things for the 2 big auditions. And I was gonna and one was being jokey, and the other was an indie film, and I was gonna Meisner. And then I was like, cable game show, whatever. And I just went in there and was just making fun of everybody and everything, and was mocking the whole premise of the show. And here was this guy in a baseball hat and a cigar, just like slapping his knee and laughing. And I was like, this guy can't be a TV producer because they don't get it. Like us comics, we always say, well, you hope they kind of get it, but they're probably not. And he's laughed, and he gave me that job, and we did 195 episodes together. And Mike wasn't lying. We were just talking about it. I've never worked. I've done over 300 episodes of TV. I've performed all over the world. I've done USO shows. I've done all this stuff. I've never worked with someone. He knew how to talk to comics in our language. That's hard to find. All comics always talk about if somebody gets it or not. And he would talk in a way, and here was the show that was really, the network just wanted titties, basically. And John was like, okay, we'll give them that, but we're going to give them really smart comedy in there. And if you paid close attention to that show, you would hear these amazing, hilarious jokes, and he would let me riff, and he would let me make fun of the contestants and do all this stuff. He gave me so much license that I went in going, well, there's no way they're going to let me do this. And it was the coolest. It was a family. It was an environment. And I remember my manager came on the set, and after watching us do a couple episodes at the lunch break, he's like, that was amazing. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I'm on sets all the time. I got a dozen clients on TV shows. There's no set in Hollywood that is this fun. It's all this angry and this tension. And John was like, yeah, we gotta get the job done, but it's a game show where people get naked. Like, what are we doing? We're not curing cancer here. And I remember there was talk, and we always wanted to do this. John's idea was, and we just laughed, because there was an article that ripped me a new one. Some TV critic out of Minneapolis, my sister lived there, sent me this thing, and they were like, this show is the end of the world, and this is like, and mankind is over. And they said, the host, Graham Elwood, and I'll never forget this, who looks like he came out of the basement of some Hollywood laboratory. I know like Graham Elwood, if that's his real name. Like my name is like, Murray Sapolsky, and then, the studio went, Graham Elwood, and that's going to be your name. And I remember getting that, I showed this to John, I was a little like, man, my sister lived in Minneapolis, she's like, and he goes, this is awesome. And he goes, we should send it, because the writer was a woman, he goes, we should send her a bouquet of flowers. I'd be like, thanks, sugar, like something really. She was all like, it's sexist and all this stuff, and he goes, we should just, and then he had the idea of buying, I don't think you guys did it, but God, we wanted to. Mike, I know we talked about, John's idea was, in like Variety, we had this photo from the opening credit sequence of a girl's ass, basically, and she had on a bikini that had a star. And he was like, we should put that in Variety and say, for your consideration for an Emmy. Like, he was like, let's just, who cares? Peabody. Peabody. Yeah, we wanted to go for a Peabody. And we were coming on the set, he's like, we gotta get a Peabody. You are out of your mind, man. And I love that guy. And one time we had an argument, there was some joke, and I didn't want to do it. And it was like making fun of some friend of mine or something like that. And I was like, I don't want to do that because I'm gonna have to take shit for this or something like that. And he goes, Brad, that's horse shit, you know it, but you're gonna kill the joke anyway, so just scrap it. And then he walked away from it. And later he told me, he had some guy, I forget his name, but an old friend of his come on the set to help out with something like that, and he goes, when you're this good friends with someone is when you can tell them to fuck off. Like that's, he was like, that was this, and I was like, oh, well then John and I really must be close. He practically punched me, so that was, and we would sit on the set and riff, man. He'd be on the headsets doing that joke about the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. He would do this thing on the comms, and there'd be downtime or something, and he'd be on the comms going, boy, the Nina's a gorgeous boat, just a gorgeous boat. I put my mom on that boat, I really would. Pinta's a garbage heap, just he would do that for hours, couldn't get enough of it. I was like, I'd never seen a non-comedian want to beat a joke into the ground that much. And we would just do that, and we were shooting 6 episodes a day, and it was always fun. It was always a blast to come to work, and he was a guy, driving over here today, I was like, I'm sad that he's gone, but I thank him for this. None of us have, tomorrow's not guaranteed to anybody. And he brought us together for that show and wherever other shows we all worked on. And he was so solid and so honest. The last time I talked to him was probably 4 or 5 years ago. We had lunch, and he was like, I'm thinking about becoming a comedy manager. And I was like, do it. I go, I will be your first client, because you're going to be the best manager. And he just said, well, I don't know why he didn't do it, maybe just because he would have to answer to too many people or something. But he was a man who believed in me, believed in everybody that worked on that show, and he was straightforward and honest. And I've worked with a lot of weasels in Hollywood, we all have. He was not one of those guys. He was so straightforward, and that is not easy to find in this business. And it says about who he was. And that he was no nonsense, and you could duke it out with him, but he respected you for that. And that is something that is an honor. And I remember, Rye, when you were first born, he'd bring you on the set, and he kept saying, this kid's going to go to Stanford. He said that over and over. I don't know if that's changed, but he really wants you to go to Stanford. Thank you.